So what do you think of the new motorbike then, Mr. Truman? I suppose we have to jump straight to the truth of the matter.
Well, I think it looks really good. I think you just look at it on vision. The first impressions is really lovely bike, and it's styled nice.
Yeah, and I'm up to.
And I think the quality of it looks really good, doesn't it? I mean, you look at a lot of bikes and you think, oh no, I'm not happy with that, I'm not happy with that. But there's lots of nice things.
Do you mean like my Royal Enfield?
Yeah, no. No, that's still a good bike in its own.
No, it wasn't. It was a bloody sack of crap. It was.
But
anyway,
this is really stylish, isn't it? And I think if I remember back when riding cruiser bikes, I liked the.
You've got a good memory.
I liked the Moto Guzzi California, I think it was.
Yeah, I think you still make it.
That was a really
bit of a different
nice
bike to this one, though.
Yeah.
It's pacey enough, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. It's really flash. I think I was reading up about the bike. I think if you trying to find a bad report on it is like flying to the moon. Yeah. So it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
Reports.
All I would say is it is a brand new bike, so it hasn't, all the niggles haven't had time to wander their way through yet. But
I think the engine, as they talk about the engine, they've developed it for someone else, and this has just been tweaked for this bike.
Yeah. Well, in fairness,
and it's a really good engine, isn't it?
The owner of the bike shop where I bought it from, he just said reg it to death.
Yeah.
He said it's good for 100,000 miles, so we'll see.
Yeah, really good. Yeah,
so, Dave's got to show you this. Just when you turn it on, this is one of my highlights of the bike for me. This, love it, because the eagle built into the headlight.
Yeah. That's clever, that is, isn't it?
There you go. It's the little touches, I think, that makes it
that's really
more
good.
appealing as a bike.
And you found this screen okay, because the screen's adjustable.
It is adjustable. I've got it fully
obviously
forward.
It keeps the wind.
Yeah, it's not brilliant. It's nowhere near as good as the BMW one. But you know, it's always that combination between style and substance, isn't it? You can buy a taller one that's clear for touring, but actually I find it all right. I think I'm just about short enough where most of it's going over my head.
And you managed to get all your gadgets on. There's all the cameras on.
Yeah. Camera's wired in. Comes with a USB socket, so it's wired into that. I've got the sat nav wired straight onto the battery, because I like that to be not powered direct to the
And
light.
obviously they put these bulges on the tank, obviously, so you're carrying probably what we're doing, about 20 litres, is it?
23, I think.
23 litres, so you're getting quite a good range out of this.
Yeah, I'm genuine 300 miles out of this tank, but it doesn't seem to have the bulk. Although interesting, when you put them next door to the GS, you know, yours looks a lot fatter because of all the engine bars and the way the tank sticks out and stuff. But actual overall width of the bike, I think there's a massive difference.
Yeah.
And actually, yours is lowered. Yours is lowered though, isn't it?
Yes, it's the lowered bike. Yeah.
So actually, they actually sit quite.
Yeah.
From size perspective, they sit
What
quite
is
close
the
to each
height?
other.
Do you know what the height is from the seat and all that? It looks fairly. Well, I suppose you stand here and it does look higher, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've got fairly similar seat heights on those, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I think most shorties would be alright on this.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you struggle with a normal GS, don't you?
So far, is it quite comfortable?
Yeah, very. Yeah, I did 350 miles to Norwich and back, and normal saddle, no sheepskins, no special pants. So no, it was all fine.
Have you added anything to it when you bought it?
Just the panniers.
So
although apparently the engine guards are about to arrive in stock any time, so I should be back for those.
I see. So that is an added extra for the engine guards.
Yeah, only 80 quid though apparently, so it's pretty good value. It's just two very simple bars that go around the edges there. Well, interestingly, if you read the manual that comes with the bike, it's absolute crap. It doesn't tell you anything in the manual. You have to go and get the online PDF manual,
I see.
and then that tells you how to adjust loads of stuff, like a lot of stuff on the dashboard. Apparently the dashboard's made by Aprilia. Because Piaggio own Moto Guzzi now.
And obviously you've rode lots of other bikes, and including active suspension GS.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's not as planted as the GS, but there's a couple of reasons for that. That end's so heavy, and it's got the electronic suspension, which is better. Yeah. This one feels more lively, but it'll still pick up and go out the corners, and you can kind of feel what it's doing. Yeah. The front feels very well connected. And in fact, the front feels better connected than the GS. It's got a different suspension setup.
I mean, on this as well, it doesn't look like they've skimped on things, because you've got the brake calipers as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's Brembo brakes.
Yeah.
It has got slightly cheaper rear suspension, but you can put an O-lins on there as comes as optional upgrade. That's via Moto Guzzi as well, so it's not a do-it-yourself.
Yeah.
So you're not disappointed on this one then? You think I haven't let you down?
It's really good. When you look at the quality of it, they've got some real good stylish fittings in there on all your controls and everything on here are good, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a few little niggles on that, but I'll cover them on the review.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed, Dave. I thought you were going to take it out of me for this. So I've had 800 miles on the bike now, so I think that puts me in a pretty good place to give it a couple of weeks in review. 800 miles has been through the first service, everything's done, everything's supposed to be sorted, it's all moving along nicely. So what do I like about it? Okay, it's a new genre, it's a little bit away from the crowd. Whilst I do love the GS, great bike, had 4 of them. It's nice to have something just a little bit different. The Royal Enfield I had before was just too different for me. What else do I like? I like shift change lights. I like the TFT daylight visibility on the screen, very good. Great features for the money. I mean, it's not the cheapest of bikes, but it's by no means the most expensive. The engine torque and power on it are really good. It's got some real character, great noise when you start to accelerate under load from low down. It gives a real roar as it pulls away. Even if it doesn't pull that hard, the actual roar it gives as the torque kicks in is great. Real winner for me, shaft drive. I just hate mucking about with chains. I know it's lazy and I know it's not that difficult. It's just a shaft drive is you clean it once a month, job done. It's a comfortable bike. I did 340-mile round trip to Norwich with no special seat, no special pants, and it was absolutely fine. Got off the bike tired because I'd ridden a long way, but not uncomfortable. It's got a USB socket as standard, that's pretty useful. It's got lots of bars all the way around the bike, so great for being able to bolt things onto it. Much like the old GS, love the fact you could stick the cameras on the engine bars, etc. You can do exactly the same with this one. Now, tank range, excellent. It's not quite up there with the GS Adventure, but you will get a genuine 300 miles range out of the tank, which is good in a bike that doesn't look so massively huge and bulky. Very easy and cheap to maintain as well. Put the twin with the pots on the outside, it's very easy to get to. You don't have to remove a lot of bodywork to get work done on the bike. The panniers are very good quality. I would say they're actually better than the BMW panniers in terms of their overall quality, and they're powder coated so they won't tarnish anywhere near as badly. The locking system isn't quite as good on them. It's very fiddly how you get the panniers on and off the bike. Again, and actually they are expensive as well. They're up there with the cost of the GS panniers. Okay, so what don't I like about the bike? Well, its main beam button, that's far too easy to turn on by accident when you're actually just using the clutch. The actual twist on the actual light itself is far too close to the arc of your hand. Nice easy fix for them should be. You just need to shorten the stub a little bit so it sits just slightly behind the path. Another really irritating one for me, and it's just personal, but when you reset the trip on the dashboard, it resets all of the averages as well. So I like to set my trip to every time I fill up the tank, so I know how far I've gone on that tank of petrol. Every time I reset it, I lose all my miles per gallon stuff, I lose all my average speed stuff, I lose all my maximum speed stuff, etc. That should be a really easy software fix, so come on Moto Guzzi, just give us an option to reset all or reset just the one you're on. A little niggle, this one, but I'm used to a GS, I've had 4 of them, so the key for the panniers is different to the key to the bike. You'd think you'd be able to key the panniers into the bike. It just adds to the overall convenience, and the panniers are also very fiddly to get on and off the bike, as like me, if you keep your bike key on a fob, it's actually very difficult to get the key with the fob down into the connector on behind the bike. So it's definitely a two-handed job, potentially 3, or you have to take the key off the bike to make off the fob to make it easier. No centre stand as standard. I know the F800 GS Adventure doesn't come with a centre stand either, so you're probably just maintaining parity for cost on that, but it would have been nice to have a centre stand. Again, for me it's not essential, but it's when you get back home, just pop it up on the centre stand in the garage, it just takes up a lot less space. Now the cruise control is, I find it a little bit fiddly. It's slightly spongy on the left thumb that you use to do it, and it's very easy to go up or down instead of push in, because you have to hold it in to reset it. I'm sure it's something I'll get used to, but at the moment I preferred the old GS version. You got good feedback from the keys when you'd actually press them. Quality control. Now I have to correct something here because I went into 3D Moto in Kings Winford, which is where I bought the bike. It's a great dealership actually. They're very friendly there, and it's nice to work with mechanics that genuinely you can tell have interest in the bikes and they're not just doing their day job. He had a look at, checked all the alignment on the wheels, everything absolutely fine, so that the fork didn't come out of the factory bent, so my apologies to Moto Guzzi. Tubed tyres are something that I had on the Royal Enfield, didn't have on the GS. I don't know why, but for some reason I just prefer tubeless tyres. So overall, the ride is excellent. It pulls well, the suspension's very competent. I'd say it's a comfortable bike, 350 miles a day with ease. It's got excellent brakes on it. It's good to see it comes with Brembos, something that even the GS doesn't come with now, which has been fiddled around. I think they're now coming with an American brand of brakes, but the Brembos work well. I find the rear brake is different, but again, I've come from the Royal Enfield Himalayan, which has got a very, very strong, very good back brake. The back brake on this one is much more akin to the GS Adventure, whereas it's much softer and gentler for trail braking. Style, I love it. I mean, I would describe it as an old street triple that's been mated with the GS, and mine particularly got sponsored by McDonald's. But I do love the looks. I know they're talking about a classic adventure look, and that's exactly what I would sort of tag it as. It's a new genre, definitely. Well, not a new genre, but it's definitely a variation on a theme. I love the great touches on the lights, the dashboard, changing gear, the video intro when you start it up. Everywhere I've parked it so far, it gets the attention of the right sort, really. People are coming over and admiring what it looks like. And they're surprised that Moto Guzzi have brought something so beautiful out of the bag on the first attempt. From a practicality point of view, panniers are as good as a GS. There's loads of power in the alternator. It's going to 420 watt alternator. Got USB as standard, as I've said. It's easy to bolt the bits on. 300 mile tank range, cheap to service. My first service was 150 quid, basically for an hour's labour and all the bits and pieces. But they don't particularly anticipate that changing on any service. There's no real massive big service on it. The one thing I would say is the dealer support is challenging just because of the sheer distance between dealerships. But in fairness, 3D Moto that I bought it from, Kings Winford, they've been absolutely excellent and clearly know their stuff. And quite new to Moto Guzzi as well, so they're just getting themselves adapted to it. But they really seem to know what they're doing, and it was just great to have that confidence of being talked through all the stuff on the bike as they brought it out of service. You definitely don't feel like a number like you can do in some dealerships. And actually it's pretty good value. I mean, I paid £11,099 on the road. I've spec'd up on the internet an F850 GS Adventure, which is about the equivalent bike really. And that's about 11,700 with the same spec options, but doesn't have shaft drive. And the servicing will be about £100 cheaper. So it is right there for value, and I'd say pretty good value. The only thing that I don't know yet is the long-term reliability, but that will come. That will come soon, hopefully. We've got 2,000 mile trip to Scotland coming up this weekend with Dave and another gent, so no doubt watch this space and you'll be getting a full-blown account of life on the road with Dave and the Moto Guzzi.